There we go. I think we're live now. Are we live? We are live. There we go. Okay, awesome. All right, so we are live covering the threat of tornadoes today here in Indiana and Ohio specifically. First things first, we are going to look at, I have a friend who is actively chasing this event. Actually, not necessarily a friend, but one of the Corn Belt Chasers, of which I am a part of the group. So, yeah, of course. Let's go ahead and hop over here and have a look. This is the wall cloud that was exhibited. You can see the inflow tail here, very low wall cloud. And this was exhibited on the, I believe, the cell that was over here near, my gosh, near, my brain is now not working. It tracked right through Versailles and was moving east. Looks like it's gotten pretty messy now. I believe this was it, right? I believe this was it, yeah. And now we are having very, very much increased tornado potential with this storm that is here near Columbus. This storm near Columbus and this storm just south of Indianapolis, both of these storms, looks like tornado potential is increasing. We had a spotter network report of rotation just a little bit ago, and we can see that rotation right there. So, let me make sure. I'm in Greensburg. It hasn't rained all day. Oh, thank you for the subscriber, Mr. Central. Illinois WX. Let me make sure the stream is all good. I might pop out and then back in here in just a second, but that is solely because my bit rate is low on the current stream. I want to make sure that it looks good for you guys, obviously. So, I might pop out and pop back in just 1 second. Alright, there we go. Now all should be good. It's getting dark in Greensburg. If you leave, I'll come back if you need to restart. We should be good now. But yeah, our main focus is going to be, for right now, this storm that, again, is near Nashville, basically directly south from Indianapolis. This storm has the best tornado potential right now. You can see it's kind of got this little cyclonic appendage here, and what we're looking at whenever we look at this is our velocity. So for people who don't understand what's going on here, this is your velocity. We have green, which is wind going this way, red, which is wind moving away, and obviously where the both of those meet, you have an area of rotation. So right now we have 0 warnings. We do have a watch in effect. Actually, wait a minute. Oh, we gotta check out Florida, I guess. Where did that come from? Okay, so our current warning count is 1. Wow. Okay, I guess if you live in Florida and you're for some reason watching this stream, then you should be careful. There's active tornado warnings down there as well. Wow. Pretty incredible. So we have 1 active tornado warning, which I did not even know I'd be able to update that at all. But there we go. We do have some rotation tightening. Look at this. Notice how the rotation right here, if we go back a few scans, if radar scope will allow me to do that. Notice how this rotation is pretty broad, right? You have a broad blob of rotation on either side. we get one radar update, and notice how those areas of rotation are tightening, right? You could have tornado potential here very soon on this storm. Again, near Nashville. It's just south of Indianapolis. You also have a developing storm up here just south of Indianapolis, which it's not in as favorable of an environment in terms of thermodynamics, but still has those backed southeasterly winds. So this thing, if it becomes surface-based, it could have tornado potential. We're not going to try to get tunnel vision. We'll try to make sure there is some broad rotation as well, just east of Indianapolis near Linville. But I definitely think the most concerning thing right now is this discrete cell here that's heading towards Columbus. That cell, not far from Columbus. If you're talking about you're not far from Columbus, Indiana, then this cell is heading basically directly for Columbus. Go ahead and pop just onto this. And you can see things are a little bit messy, especially up north up here. You're going to get a lot of rain. But everywhere south of Indianapolis, basically everywhere south of here, is where your tornado potential is going to exist for today. Specifically in the corridor that extends from about Evansville, Louisville, Cincinnati, all the way up into Springfield, Ohio. This area is your most enhanced area of tornado potential. So we're just going to keep an eye on this thing. We got storm chasers that are actively on the ground out here. Let's see if we can find any of them. Here they are, down here near Versailles, Indiana. The tornado warning continues. Okay, they just severe warned this. Okay, rotation is still pretty scattered for the most part. You can see it's messy. This is not the most organized storm in the world. Oh wow, okay, we could have a developing tornado up here near Linville. And actually, we have a chaser just south of Shelbyville here. Luke, he's on this storm. He's looking north. He probably can't see this up here. You see, we do have this area of rotation right here. He can probably see this right here in front of him. You can see on the reflectivity right above my head that notch of subtle cyclonic curvature in the atmosphere, and you can see, yeah, we very well may have a tornado on the ground. Let's see if anything. There's no no correlation coefficient drop yet. What we're checking right now is checking to see if any debris has been lofted. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up for you guys and show you the storm there in Shelbyville. This is from one of the chasers in the group. This is from Luke Hatton, and you can see this wall cloud potentially developing right here. He says that it is rotating. I mean, we cannot confirm nor deny that via picture, but definitely an area of lowering on this storm for sure. So we'll go ahead and see if we are watching, seeing if there's any other live photos of people in the field that we can sort of check up on. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up something that WeatherTrack US actually posted. So this is a map of photographs, and you can see these curves, right? Those curves in oh gosh, just open the Microsoft Store. BRB gonna share your stream. Hey, thank you very much. Right outside Columbus, Shelbyville, smack dab between them. Yeah. So you see this curvature. This is around the Cincinnati area. This is south of Indianapolis. What that curvature is is the pink, the red, then the green. It's the lowest levels of the atmosphere, and each color represents a higher level in the atmosphere. So we can see major turning in the atmosphere. So those winds, as you go higher and higher up, those winds are curving to the side, which is what causes those supercells, and specifically causes the development of those tornadoes. So yeah, and we can see we could have a tornado on the ground here near Linville. Still nothing really defining on correlation coefficient, but if you'll notice the black pixels here and the green pixels here, that is indicative of a tight area of rotation, so tight that it's actually causing the radar to kind of glitch out. Let's go ahead and go back down to our storm down here near Nashville. This thing is heading east towards Columbus and Elizabethtown, Indiana. It was tightening for a moment, but it looks like now at this point it's not quite tightening. We have you can see this blob of rain down here. What that probably is that is causing some stable air that is going to cause this storm to probably weaken. But if we look south of this, south down here, look at how open the air is down here. If the air can stay open south of this storm, it's definitely going to have tornado potential here once it ingests or kills off this scattered convection. We also do have a little storm that is rotating right here near Clifford. This thing it does not pack a major punch, but look at that. Look at the curvature in that storm there. Our atmosphere is absolutely incredible. Storm near Franklin is rotating. Oh yeah, we almost certainly have a tornado on the ground here, just east of Linville. Yeah, we definitely do have a tornado on the ground east of Linville. All right, the National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning on this, but I am issuing it's most likely a tornado on the ground. You can see over here what we have. This is correlation coefficient. So what this shows us is if debris, if asymmetric items have been lofted up into the atmosphere. And that coincides, at least it did momentarily. I don't know why my time went backwards. There we go. And that coincides with our rotation. Well, the times are a little off. You can see this is 4:06, this is 4:07. But that coincides with our rotation, meaning we have a tornado on the ground. Thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing the page. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my phone of this. And we are going to... Yeah, this is more than likely a tornado on the ground. East of Linville. My apologies, just updating everything. There we go. So yeah, east of Linville, this thing is tracking over the highway there, just north. The highway that tracks right through Morristown towards Rushville. Whatever this highway or state route is, this tornado just is actively crossing, or by now has most likely crossed it. Hello, Aliva Taurus. Thank you for joining us. Let's go ahead and head back down south to this cell. So our cell, it looks like it might be trying to merge. You notice the separation here, and you might get the split. So what will happen is you will get this part of the storm, which will end up going north, and that'll be your left split. And then you get the more supercellular portion of the storm that will move to the right. And this will likely take on a much higher chance of producing a tornado. And another storm up here showing signs of rotation near Louisville, Indiana. Man. Okay, we haven't had a radar update here in about 6 minutes, so our radar is a little behind. Sometimes that happens with radar scope on the computer where it just does not want to update you. The weatherman is bipolar as heck. Okay, since we can't get a velocity update, yeah, we probably still have a tornado on the ground. It's just crossed the highway east of Linville, Indiana. It's going to be tracking north of Rushville. You can see this area right here for anybody who's watching. This area right here, especially the more intense colors. What that is debris being lofted by this tornado. This is most definitely a tornado on the ground. I don't know why this thing is not warned. I mean, yeah, you can see this is a very tight couplet of wind speeds here. You know, no hate to the National Weather Service or anything, but I'm not sure why this is not warned. This is most definitely a tornado on the ground. And I'll say it again, it is 3-4 miles just northeast of Linville, Indiana. I don't know why this is not tornado warned, but it needs to be. This is actively a tornado on the ground. It just crossed the highway. That moves from Linville to Rushville. My gosh, why is this still not tornado warned? There we go. Now it is tornado warned. So we still have one active right in the middle of all these danger nodes. Rush. Same for Columbus in the opposite direction. So you're between Rushville and Columbus. Where's Columbus from there? Oh, here's Columbus. Oh, okay. So you're in between the two of these. So you're probably near St. Paul then. Oh, wow. This storm near Hope is... Oh, wow. I was doubting that this thing was surface-based, but look at the cyclonic curvature on this. This probably is exhibiting little mini supercell features. We're gonna have to watch this storm if it manages to intensify. It's in the anvil kind of rain coming out of this storm here from the south. So I would not imagine this thing will be able to take in clean inflow. This storm south of Columbus here definitely looks like the main concern. And look at that. What looks like I was saying earlier is we're going to have this one, which will move more easterly. And this will be the left split, which moves more north-northeast. And if this thing can successfully split, this storm will have a much higher tornado potential. Let's go ahead and see if we have any updates. It looks like the tornado that just tracked through east of Linville has now dissipated. So it looks like that is now dissipated. And here's the tornado warning, right? Radar indicated rotation. We can almost guarantee that there was a tornado on the ground, at least momentarily. Okay, I'm sorry for everybody who's trying to keep up with everything right now. This is just, gosh, it's going a little hectic. Just east of Indianapolis, so near Cambridge City and Strawn, there is some rotation just south of Strawn. On this little mini supercell, you can see again this thing has a little bit of curvature. And my apologies if the clicking of my mouse is pretty loud. And we've been seeing recently that the inflow into this storm near Hope, Indiana, has actually been increasing. So, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Our cell down south here that has that's moving south of Columbus, it's still pretty disorganized. We don't have any immediate tornado potential, but once this thing splits, and if it can avoid this southern convection, this thing's tornado potential will increase tenfold. It will have a much higher chance of producing. Trying to keep an eye out. Let's go ahead and check a little bit farther east of these storms here near Cincinnati. Okay, nothing is jumping out and catching my eye immediately on any of these storms. You do have 2 storms down here in Kentucky, I believe, right? This is Kentucky. One of these is in Kentucky. Look at that severe warning. Yeah, look at that rotation near Concord and Rome, Kentucky. And then we do have another little weak supercell right here near what is it? Winchester. But definitely this storm down here near Rome does have some marginal tornado potential. Rome, Kentucky. You guys need to watch out. Or is that Rome, Ohio? It is right here is the state border. Here's the Ohio River. And this storm is riding right on that. So it's Rome, Kentucky, Rome, Ohio. If you live in this general area, you'll know which you're a part of. So we're gonna hop back over here though. We see now. Here we go. Here we go. The left split is happening. You can see the remnant area of rotation on the initial storm and the new meso that is now almost fully developed on that southern end of the split. Our tornado has almost certainly dissipated here just east of Linville. I'm actually using spotter network. I'm using radar scope. And I know radar scope for the desktop is not the absolute best application. However, the other ones like GR Analyst and WSV3 are expensive. So, if the channel ever blows up, then of course I will probably get one of those for severe weather coverage. However, I just don't have the means to be able to do that right now. Hopefully in the future though. That would be a long-term goal to be able to upgrade some of our stuff. We're gonna go ahead and check Twitter again, see if there's any pictures coming out of that tornado that was on the ground in Rushville. Reed Timmer's also live, so I don't blame people for going and watching him instead of me right now. WSV3 and this channel will get you there. Really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I've got some cool things in the works, you know, some more documentary style videos that I am working on right now, so I'm really excited about those because those will not only be big for the channel but will be really exciting to just make and to post. So yeah, so at the moment looks like we don't have anything confirmed. It is a little suspicious that we do have some radar glitching right here, but local even though he's a legend. Hey, Reed most definitely is a legend in the weather space, so I won't knock anybody for wanting to watch him. But I appreciate that you're watching me, and especially because I'm local, just living here in Ohio. So, but yeah, so our severe thunderstorm south of Columbus. Now this one pertains more to you, I believe, because well, no, I guess St. Paul is up here, so this one doesn't pertain to you as much. But this storm definitely has one of the higher tornado potentials of any of the storms we've seen today. You can see this meso is really struggling. I think if our storm here can ingest this southern storm, so that way it's not really competing, then we'll have a little bit of a better chance of seeing a tornado potential come out of that. Again, pretty broad rotation still near Rome. The positive thing about today is these storms are moving slow. So you should be able to have plenty of warning lead time, other than the National Weather Service missed the tornado there near Linville. But that's okay, it happens. Again, we don't want to hate on the National Weather Service. And we do have this little suspicious guy down here near Augusta, Kentucky. That thing's gonna track towards West Union, Ohio. And this thing is all by itself. We look right here. I mean, this puppy is all alone. It's gonna have lots of energy to feed it, so we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. I would expect the tornado warning up here near Rushville to expire. There's no reason for me to expect that they will continue that tornado warning any longer. We do have some weak rotation near heading towards Shelbyville. Man, okay, so like I said, I would expect that that these storms would be or that this tornado warning would be canceled, and that this is our main cell we have to watch after right now. So, thankfully though, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that nothing too crazy is happening right now. New meso and hope. Most definitely, there is at least some type of mesocyclone and hope, but I don't believe the rotation would be tight enough for us to be seeing a tornado threat here. Usually what you not necessarily what you want to see, but what you would need to see for a tornado threat is like if we're able to go back on velocity and see when that tornado was on the ground here, you can see, well, let's go ahead and just pull it up on the big screen. Gives me a better way of explaining things. So you can see how our velocities, you have wind moving away from the radar, wind moving towards the radar, right? And when they meet right here like this, if you can draw a line and that line extends directly towards the radar, then that tells you that that is most likely tornadic rotation. So you see right where those two collide, our radar's here, right where these two are colliding, it's pointing directly at the radar. Whereas our storm down near Hope, we'll try to get up to current time, you can see it's kind of pointing more north. So if that rotation were to tighten a little bit and were to tilt and face more towards the radar, I would be a little bit more concerned with that for sure. Oh wow, we do have some pretty decent rotation on this storm near Sunman, Indiana. Sunman, one of the two. My gosh, everything up here is rotating though, so we're gonna be, as long as I am able to be on, I will be on for you guys. I am just checking to see if we have any other changes. The Storm Prediction Center just did a mesoscale discussion, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick. Give me one moment. We are going to pull up meso discussions. Okay, it looks like it's gonna take a second here. Yeah, mesoscale discussion concerning the active tornado watch here. Even our new cell to the south, you can see how it has just a little bit of a curvature right here, and on velocity we can see some of those lighter, just barely red colors with the green on the inflow. So you have rotation evident in that storm. We have our obvious, very large, unorganized meso that is now moving here into Elizabethtown. You have another weak meso here that's near Shelbyville. You potentially have another weak meso near Cambridge City. Potentially another weak meso near Sunman, Indiana. I mean, my goodness, everything's rotating. Another weak meso east of Hope near Milford. My gosh, but alright, we'll see if the mesoscale discussion is up now. Appreciate all the explanations. Have no idea what's going on. Hey, that's another thing I try to do on my streams. I try to explain everything so people can get a general understanding. Here we go. We have the Storm Prediction Center has issued a mesoscale discussion. You can see this concerns the threat for central Indiana and southwest Ohio. And you can see the Storm Prediction Center has noted the greatest potential for near-term tornadoes. Numerous supercells are being monitored from Indiana to Ohio. Most of these cells have displayed somewhat paltry updraft intensities. Most of these cells have displayed storm organization with weak but persistent mesocyclones. Storm distribution, widespread to favor discrete mode for the next couple hours. Latest surface observations show the warm front has lifted into central Indiana and Ohio, and mixed layer capes have increased from 1,000 to 2,000. So what cape is, what they're talking about right here, the joules per kilogram, that's energy in the atmosphere. Think about when you see storms, thunderstorms going up in the distance. It looks like a nuclear bomb went off, right? You have the massive exploding clouds. It's because you have that energy in the atmosphere that explodes up. And then you also have soundings that are forecasting 1,000 to 100 to 200 ESRH, which would tell you that you do have some pretty solid storm relative helicity. That's the turning, that tornadic spin in the atmosphere. So portions of southeast Indiana will likely see the highest tornado potential for the next 1 to 2 hours, as relatively stronger low-level winds boost that low-level helicity. Yeah, several discrete supercells within this environment may realize this potential. So, yeah, we could be in for some of these storms to be going absolutely nuts here soon. National Weather Service continues the tornado warning for Rushville. That's interesting. I wonder why. I would not have continued that tornado warning, but the National Weather Service is smarter than I am. We could potentially have a developing tornado here near Sunman, where yet again you have this this very tight area of increased winds right here. And you can see the area where these blacked out pixels are. That's where you get areas of higher velocity that it'll glitch a little bit. Also, my kids are loving using me on along something. You may have made a future weather lady. Hey, I love to hear that. Makes me happy. Makes me want to do more of these live streams and covering severe weather. So, it's nice whenever you have people watching and they're either just enjoying the coverage or they are, they're getting valuable information, right? And I appreciate either or. I would like to think that maybe, just maybe, one person sees this and calls a loved one or something, and it could save a life ultimately, or somebody could learn something new, right? So again, all of our storms have these persisting mesocyclones. We have persistent rotation in all of these storms here. The Elizabethtown, Milford, Shelbyville, even Rushville, although I wouldn't have continued the tornado warning, does have some weak areas of rotation here, as that storm did split. And then down here near Sunman as well. So, yeah, the only thing is none of these storms have exhibited tight, dominant rotation. We did have that brief tornado near Linville. However, even that tornado was likely not very strong in nature. It was likely more of a weak tornado. So, but yeah, thank you, Drizzy, for shouting out and sharing the stuff. I mean, I greatly appreciate anybody who's able to come on in and watch. I'm just trying to provide my insight. I'm not the smartest person when it comes to this, far from it. There's people like Reed and stuff like that who are PhDs and everything, but I feel like I have enough of an understanding that I can hopefully, explain something or help somebody, who may not have any real understanding of severe weather at all. So, we are going to check. Oh, okay, so we have, so we have pictures from Rushville. So this is Rushville, where the active tornado warning is. This is Southeast Ohio storm chaser. I know it's kind of hard to see him. For some reason, I can't move my screen from where it is. It's locked in right now. I'm not sure why, but so yeah. But he is on that storm near Rushville, and I mean, you can see there's no discernible lowering, and it looks like this storm probably is getting choked off from the instability, I would imagine. I mean, let's take a look at that storm near Rushville. I mean, look, you have all of this blobby convection that's all around it, and also you have these storms to the south which are taking up that energy, the dew points, and the heating that was available to them in the warmer sector of this. So now you can see these cells are merging here near Elizabethtown. Once this cell is able to absorb the rest of this rain here, this storm will probably be able to start producing. I would imagine this thing would be able to produce here fairly soon, to be honest. I mean, it should be not too long. This storm should most definitely have the potential of producing. Sunman still has some broad rotation there. Let's see if we can get a closer picture with the other radar. No. Yeah, we're not going to get any better info off of that one. Although, we do have to remember that these storms are happening out here. This is just south of Cincinnati, near Independence, Kentucky. This thing is exhibiting a mesocyclone and some pretty stout rotation on it as well. You can see the very bright colors here. That is indicating some pretty strong inflow into this storm. And even on the reflectivity side of things, you can see the curve of it starting to take place. We still have this weak meso here. Nothing too tight. Does not look like there's any tornadoes imminent. And we do have a tightening area of rotation here, and that's on that little sneaky storm near Sinking Springs. That is in Ohio. Yes, Ohio. That is heading up towards Chillicothe. We'll keep an eye. Oh yeah, man. Okay, this storm south of Cincinnati, not that far south of Cincinnati. This is only southwest of Cincinnati by about 10 miles. Is exhibiting much tighter rotation. Yet again, you can see these black glitched out pixels here, which is indicating pretty strong area of rotation. Light hail in Greensburg. Okay, that is good. Yeah, the only confirmed tornado we've had has been the one that has gone through Rushville. Other than that, I would say these storms that have rotation likely are not producing tornadoes as we speak. Now, this storm south of Cincinnati could easily flip the switch, because this is the storm I was talking about. Look south of this storm. You notice how you see not a single drop of rain, and that is going to be, conducive to this storm having plenty of energy to continue moving forward. When people see sunshine, they think like, oh, it's a nice day outside. The weatherman lied. I hate to break it to you, but that is most certainly not the case. Our storm here near Elizabethtown is very disorganized, which is a positive thing for stopping tornado potential. But yeah, I don't think we will see a tornado out of this thing anytime in the very near future. Where's our most concerning area of rotation? These new cells near Bloomington will have to be monitored quite a bit as well, because that's going to be concerning. But I would have to say probably our most concerning storm right now is this one. Just south of Cincinnati in Independence and Florence, Kentucky. I've been to Florence a couple times. Really cool little place down there. The views down there, it's very hilly, very kind of mountainous right along the Ohio River here. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we get another radar update on this thing. It's sunny and then dark and small. Yeah, you get gosh. Oh yeah, wow, look at the rotation on it now. Okay, this thing is most likely going to be tornado warned by the National Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio here very soon. This thing could produce a tornado very, very soon here. This thing's actually our torque count is down to 0 yet again, so we will change that. But yeah, look at the rotation on this. So yet again, what this is, these the greenish blue colors. This thing is exhibiting 60 plus mile an hour wind speeds along the pardon me, along the RFD and the inflow here, and then this is more the RFD here actually, is exhibiting not much, maybe 5-10 miles an hour of outflow, or RFD on the other side. So, and it did just weaken again on the latest scan, so it looked concerning there for a minute. That had me concerned, but now on the latest scan I'm not nearly as concerned. But you do see, wow, look at this. Look at this. I call this the tongue when you have that type of appendage. Yeah, that's you usually can get tornadoes out of storms that have that real kind of lengthy looking appendage like that. Again, no active tornado warnings. So I am sorry, but here in about probably 20 minutes, I will have to be getting off the stream. I would love to stream for longer, but I have some prior commitments, and I just came from that direction. Yeah, one thing that I utilized this year that was really nice is I have a drone actually, and it's like a DJI Mini 2, and it's amazing. And you fly that thing up, you can see over all the hills, over all the mountains, you know. It makes chasing and spotting storms and bad terrain a lot easier, and you can do a lot more good. So, but yeah, again, you can see while this cell merger is happening, our rotation has gotten just very messy. There's no tightness to it at all, and also, how I said earlier, you want your rotation to meet and then be oriented at our radar. Our radar is northwest of this, and our rotation is kind of meeting right here, so it's way off right now. This storm is struggling just a little bit, but we will likely see it reorganize once it finally envelops that other storm. We are watching things like a hawk for you. When I moved up here, I got in trouble flying my drone up here. Airport somewhere near. Yes. Yes, you have to be very careful. When you open up the DJI app and you go to fly the drone, it'll let you know that you are in an area of restricted airspace. So you can only fly, I think, 300 feet or something. Something like that. But, yeah. And the positive thing is with the DJI, the minis, is that they are under the weight limit that you have to register the drone. So makes it really nice if people want to complain and, you know, nitpick at you in public, like, oh, is this thing registered and stuff. It doesn't need to be, and they also don't need to be nitpicking at you. It just doesn't need to happen. So people are like that, though. We're watching this cell south of Cincinnati near Taylor Mill, and we're gonna see if anything changes. We still have that curvature on it. Oh wow, okay. So you notice we have these blue colors now, and what those blue colors are is we're getting into 70 to 80 miles an hour along the southern side of this couplet, and in the northern side of this couplet we have very, very little wind. You know, it's 5 miles an hour maybe, but still, that has to be monitored. That has to be monitored quite a bit. Man, that is just not. None of these storms are organized. This is a good thing, believe me. This is most definitely a good thing because it takes our tornado potential out for today. Oh wow. Okay. If this were true and not a radar glitch, we could have a tornado on the ground near Centerville. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. Notice how the debris matches up right with our velocity. We do have a chaser here, or a spotter at least. How often do you stream on this channel? Not very often. As of right now, I just stream just when I'm able to. But obviously right now it's the summer for me, so I'm out of college. So I'm working and stuff, but if and when I have more time, I try to stream. And there it is. Tornado warning for Highland Heights, which is this storm down here. That's what I thought they would do. They've just issued it. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, pretty strong rotation on the southern end, but almost nothing here on the northern end of this. So, I don't think we have immediate tornado potential. If there is a tornado with this, it is most likely very weak. But something to keep an eye on if things do persist. Wow, near Centerville? Like, we very well may have a tornado on the ground near Centerville. Yeah, we may have a tornado on the ground near Centerville. Right here. Let's see if we get an update on correlation. Let's see. There was an uptick in correlation, but you calmed my kids. I've watched them go from scared to wanting to learn and listen. Yeah. See, the thing is, you should never be afraid of severe weather. You should be prepared for severe weather. I don't think there's anything to necessarily be afraid of with severe weather. And ultimately, if something were to happen, you're informed, you have a plan, you know. You're gonna be much better prepared than most people will be. So, I'll check out your area though. In St. Leon, you got a nice little thunderstorm rolling through there. It does have some evidence of a very weak mesocyclone, but if there is one, it's incredibly weak. And you would have that I would be willing to say that's 0 tornado potential there. Our rotation near Centerville, it's in a weird position. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a little brief, almost spin up tornado here near Centerville, but it is really hard to tell, especially because these storms are getting farther and farther from the radar. Yeah, this storm down here, it looks like it's cycling actually. You notice how you're starting to get this back here. It looks like it might cycle a new meso. What I mean by meso, if people don't know, is a mesocyclone. It's the rotation in the storm. So let's go ahead and check Twitter again, see if we can find anything at all. Oh wow, this is very far away, but JT James T, one of actually somebody who I am friends with, um, from here in Ohio, um, actually captured the tornado in Rushville. I believe it is this down here. As you can kind of see, he looks like he's on the southern end of the storm. So what you have here is you have this is the curve of the horseshoe, and then on the inside end of that horseshoe is where you would have a tornado present, and it looks like that is probably the tornado there. So either there, or there. I don't believe that that is it, because it would be a weird spot to see it on the horseshoe, but we will keep digging and keep trying to find um um oh, we are still watching. See if there's any chasers in the field that have posted pictures or video to give us an idea of the ground truth as to what's happening here. All right, we'll go ahead and switch back to the radar. Okay, so here we go. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Our storm near Elizabethtown, it's now finally starting to get some of this rain ingested into the updraft, and now you can see the rotation is starting to recycle here, and we might see this storm finally mature. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this storm down here. Yeah, that storm near the Ohio River, just south of Cincinnati, is not doing too much now on velocity. It's just kind of doing its thing. There's not much rotation on that storm really at all, to be completely honest. Oh man, pardon me if I yawn a little bit. What'd you say? Thought I'd share. Yeah, this storm near Centerville is definitely still interesting. Notice the higher wind values here. You could have some tornado potential with this storm. Looks like the National Weather Service in Indiana is kind of reluctant to issue warnings just for weak rotation, which I understand because they want to prevent people from being a little tone deaf to the warnings, you know? So it's important to warn when it is necessary, right? And as of right now, no storms are really worth warning except for this storm just southeast of Cincinnati. But we are vehemently watching this storm that just tracked south of Columbus, now southeast of Elizabethtown. This storm is going to be kind of tracking your way, Jersey, tracking towards St. Leon. It'll probably be south of you guys, so no reason for any type of panic as of right now. But yeah, this thing is going to be tracking east, probably just south of St. Leon. It's probably going to track somewhere in between Cincinnati and Dayton down the line. If this thing does become tornadic, we need to watch, you know, the cities and towns and places downstream that could be impacted by this. So it's tracking right towards Versailles. That's where the first supercell actually tracked right through here as well. So anybody who's watching, though, feel free to leave questions, comments, whatever, in the live chat. I'm looking and I will try to respond to those. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Incredible QLCS looks like it is developing here just northwest of Indianapolis. Wow. Look at this intense band of thunderstorms developing. And that just shows you that this likely won't have much. I will definitely be on alert. The warning is till 10. I believe the watch expires in about 5 hours, so yes, that will be until 10 o'clock. So if I'm not online, then that would be a situation where you need to watch your local National Weather Service, or local news and National Weather Service. Have your phones charged, you know, just stuff like that that is going to be easy to do. So this line of storms that's up here near Kokomo, north of Indianapolis, this line of storms will likely become major wind producers. You'll likely see lots of wind damage reports from these. They shouldn't be necessarily extensively damaged. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings that are warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds usually don't have those 60-mile-an-hour winds translated down actually to the ground, but it's still worth it. You should be inside and aware that you're likely going to have some strong thunderstorms moving your way if you're just east of these. So our main storm of the day here near North Vernon, that is again tracking towards the Cincinnati area, is starting to look like it's reorganizing the new mesocyclone here, as the older precip from this other storm is being consumed by this new storm. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look back at the active tornado warning. This is just southeast of Cincinnati. Wow, very close to Cincinnati. If you live in Cincinnati, this thing is probably a 20, maybe 30-minute drive from you just because of traffic. And you can see the area where this thing is hooking, definitely exhibiting some supercell characteristics. The rotation does not look conducive to tornado production, though. You can kind of see it's really disorganized, really messy, and there's a good chance that this thing is going to lose its tornado warning here in the near future. That does not mean we don't need to be on high alert, though, because we do have storms here in southern Indiana that are going to be tracking into that very same area, that very same environment. And likely this storm in Indiana is going to exhibit some better tornado potential than this storm did here. So, and yeah, welcome everybody to the stream. Again, if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, please put them in the live chat. I'm going to answer any and everything that I absolutely can. And thank you all for tuning in. As of right now, we don't have any extremely pressing severe weather matters. Oh, that may be changing, though. Again, this storm this is Richmond, Indiana, Spring Grove, Indiana. We do have some very strong RFD ripping on the southern end of this. And some weak winds on the north end of this couplet, but still, if this tightens right here near Spring Grove, then we're gonna have a tornado almost certainly on the ground. Now, I don't think we have actively a tornado on the ground, but we do have a hint of some CC, which would tell us that there could potentially be one on the ground. We're gonna go ahead and watch. It's not indicative enough for us to say anything yet, but you can see where these blacked out pixels are and where the white pixels meet those. That is where our area of rotation is, just passed over Spring Grove and is heading towards New Paris. This is not tornado warned, by the way. However, I believe that rotation looks tight enough that you could get a brief tornado. More brief tornado out of that storm up there. So, I'm going to answer text message real quick. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it is a positive thing that that not a ton is actively ongoing right now. It is most definitely a positive thing, and I'm checking to see if we have any new info. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Oh whoops. My bad. Alright, so this is NATOcast. This is a machine learning model, so it shouldn't be taken fully seriously, but wow. NATOcast really thinks there is a high potential for tornadoes. That's a 30% there, just east of the Cincinnati area, which 30% would verify as a high risk. Wow. So NATOcast is going absolutely off the rails right now. That's dang. Alright, don't mind me. We're just gonna go ahead and retweet this real quick. I'll mute this so you guys don't have to listen to me type. All right, we've got that retweeted now. Man. Okay, so wow, I can't believe NATOcast really thinks that we are going to be seeing potential for multiple tornadoes and even strong tornadoes there in the Ohio Valley today from just around the Cincinnati area. And I definitely agree that the Cincinnati area has solid potential for seeing a tornado today, most definitely. And yet again, just what I talked about, our first storm, our initial culprit, is starting to reorganize. If you notice, look over here on velocity. Notice the hook starting to come back on this storm, right? I think that this thing will probably be able to recycle pretty easily once it, once it clears this rain to the south of it. this thing will probably have tornado potential here very soon. Where is that at? This storm here is near Jackson, Indiana. For reference, that is about, let's see, probably 50 miles west of Cincinnati. Basically heading straight towards Cincinnati right now. So, this storm down the line will definitely have some tornado potential. I can almost guarantee that. Our storm here near New Paris as well, Indiana. Again, this is not tornado warned, but this is the same storm that went through Rushville. Gosh, an hour ago now, and did produce a tornado. This storm is still maintaining pretty tight rotation. I would not be surprised to see if we have a tornado on the ground with this. Most definitely not a large, not an extremely damaging tornado, but even small tornadoes can be damaging. So they're damaging for somebody, right? Maybe not for you, but for somebody. So we're gonna have to watch out. New Paris, Indiana. Wow, that's very far north actually. Probably the warm front has lifted far enough north to allow that storm to maintain its tornadic potential. We do have a spotter report here. Large, broad, rotating wall cloud, lots of rising motion noted, as well as a prominent inflow tail. So that is on this storm, which is just crossed south of Cincinnati. The tornado potential has severely diminished with this. I don't think we're going to be seeing a tornado with this cell that is just southeast of Cincinnati. We still do have that active tornado warning, but you can see on velocity here, we would have those red colors to show rotation going like this. But right now, almost all of the wind is going towards the radar. So this thing probably has the energy, the cape to support a tornado potential, but likely doesn't have the kinematic support, which basically means it doesn't quite have as much wind shear as places out here farther to the west, southeast of Indianapolis do. And we are just keeping one eyeball on this storm here near Jackson at all times. We are watching this thing. And this storm near New Paris. Again, there's very well a chance that we just had a tornado, or have a tornado near New Paris. There's a chaser right there, Brent McDermott, a spotter, and Sean Gray. So hopefully we get some views of that. Yeah. So just to explain to everybody what we're looking at, I'll go ahead and make the velocity the full screen. So just to explain to everybody who's watching right now what we're looking at, this is velocity. So this gives us like an X-ray into the storm to see what the wind speeds are. So this brighter yellowish, reddish colors, this is wind moving away. And where we have this like one green pixel, this is wind moving towards our radar. So our radar is located, over this way. And when you have those two areas of high velocity meet, obviously you have an area of rotation and a potential tornado on the ground here. Now, the National Weather Service missed the tornado that went through Rushville earlier. They didn't warn it. And I quite honestly can't explain why they're not warning this one either, because very strong rotation near New Paris. If this chaser is actively out there, Shane, I would not be surprised if we have a tornado on the ground, or there's at least some strong rotation evident here. This storm must be anchored on that warm frontal axis, because it's very far north to be maintaining this strong of a mesocyclone. And thank you. I'm happy the explanation landed well. So you said you're near the Tip City, Dayton area. That storm near New Paris is tracking towards Tip City, yes. So, it will probably end up being north of it, and I don't know if it will be able to maintain a mesocyclone the whole time it tracks towards Tip City. But as of right now, Tip City, you're definitely downstream of what could be potentially a tornado actively on the ground. We'll go ahead and check our correlation coefficient again, and yeah, there's nothing indicative of a tornado on correlation coefficient. And to explain what correlation coefficient is, this screen that we are looking at here that is just all red and yellow lines, what this does is this basically shows us if the things that are in the atmosphere are symmetric or asymmetric, I guess would be a great way to explain it. So obviously when a tornado lofts debris up into the atmosphere, that debris is flying all sorts of directions. It's asymmetric, right? It's just the radar is getting different shapes of things every time. So we can actually tell where a tornado is if we get a circle, a specific spot of these darker colors that are exhibited down here. Now, obviously, that has to match up with our rotation because you can get glitches with correlation coefficient. And we are down to 0 currently active tornado warnings. We will go ahead and update that for everybody. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, any comments, anything they want to ask about their specific city in the stream, let me know. I'll answer any question to the best of my ability. Let's go ahead and look down here. Yeah, so our storm down here, again, this storm constantly starts to organize and then falls apart. Starts to organize and fall apart. It's probably still battling this storm that it just ingested. But, I mean, once this storm gets maybe 10 more minutes farther east, this thing should start to exhibit some greater supercell and greater tornado potential as it moves off a little bit farther east here. Man, thank you everybody for coming in the stream right now. If you could share this to anybody who you know might be living in the area, like it, whatever you could do, I would greatly appreciate that because that helps get the stream out to more people. And you know, my only hope is that people either enjoy the stream, learn something, or, you know, take the necessary safety precautions and to protect not only their property but their life in the case of a tornado. So either way, thank you for watching and tuning in today. But hi, my friend. Best wishes from London, England. Wow. I don't think this severe weather is going to impact you, but I appreciate the best wishes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and check. Hang on 1 second. We'll reload our velocity values here. Yeah, so there's nothing that is extremely concerning. I will check this one again near New Paris. If I was the National Weather Service, I think I would strongly be considering warning this. This is what I was talking about. You have these this area of rotation. You have wind going away from the radar. This is wind going towards the radar. And where the two of those meet is where you would have a tornado if there was to be one. Now you can see we don't have much in terms of wind going back towards the radar. This is like little greens and grays, so that's only, 10 to 15 miles an hour. But our wind going away from the radar is very high. I mean, that's 80 to 90 miles an hour. So you do have a pretty strong strong couplet there, and I think that that is capable of producing at least a weak tornado. But we shall see. I am gonna check real quickly now that I have covered the active stuff. I'm gonna check real quickly on Twitter, see if anybody has any pictures. Any pictures. Trying to see if we have any ground truth of storms there. Huh, okay. Vienna, Russia. Looking. I don't see anything right now. If I remember Mayfield correctly, didn't they wait till the last minute to announce the impact? With Mayfield, Kentucky, they had warned, Tornado warned it, well in advance. But the tornado emergency had not been issued until the storm was almost directly on. Yes, directly on Mayfield, pretty much. But tornado emergencies are obviously used very sparingly. So I don't blame the National Weather Service for, waiting to issue that. It's tornado emergency, that's as bad as it gets. But obviously nobody knew how extraordinarily powerful and destructive the Mayfield tornado was going to end up being whenever we saw daylight. Definitely December 10th, definitely one of the most historic days that we have seen in the last decade. It's truly incredible. Like, and when I say incredible, it's just something that is going to be studied for years, something that is historic and tragic in a lot of ways. So, it's actually, I visited Dawson Springs. This was some months ago, and it was tough to see. We had a couple friends of mine and myself. We were taking some photos of the damage and stuff, which I never feel morally good doing, but I think it's important that people see that to understand the potential damage that tornadoes cause. And there was a little girl's shoes, toddler level, and a stuffed animal sitting on a stair step, and that was really hard to see. And at that point we decided to leave because this is people's lives, families, children, parents, and that was probably the toughest thing I've ever had to witness in storm chasing and stuff. So yes, new severe thunderstorm warning for this cell near Liberty that's heading just south of Dayton. We'll go ahead and get back to the active warnings. Yeah, and El Dorado still has rotation here. I'm surprised the National Weather Service again has not issued at least a severe thunderstorm warning up here for El Dorado. Because if this were to tighten for just one scan, it could produce a tornado. So I'm gonna answer one text message real quick. help clean out with the guard, and he was there. He told me that there was no escaping it. Most damage he'd ever seen. It is the most destructive thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, when people say homes were completely slabbed, homes were completely slabbed down to the concrete. I mean, it's it's hard to fathom without, without seeing it in person. So again, thank you everybody that's tuning in. I know we're talking about some rough stuff right now, and I'm not covering directly the severe weather as much right now, but that's because thankfully storms are a little bit messier and a little disorganized, which is kind of hurting the tornado chances, which is a good thing for everybody here, that we're not dealing with a bunch of tornadoes all around. So um yeah, we will keep an eye out. Now they finally did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm I've been talking about for a long time now. I can see why they haven't tornado warned this. The rotation is not I don't know, it's just very weird. It looks more like a digital glitch than it does an actual supercellular thunderstorm. But yeah, right now the tornado potential is not super high. All of these storms are disorganized and messy. So I clicked the bell, so if I see you online, everyone please be safe. Hey, thank you so much, Drizzy. I appreciate it. I'm happy that your kids enjoyed watching as well. This is probably the best stream I've ever had, and sadly I have to get going. It's almost 5:30 for me. And I have some prior commitments I have to attend to, but thank you each and every person that tuned in for today. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And hopefully you guys are paying attention. You have your phones charged, so that way you can get severe weather alerts on your phone if need be. And yeah, I'm gonna be on for just the next little bit, and then sadly I will have to be leaving. So I apologize, but it sucks, but that's just the situation right now because of work and everything. I don't have as much time, honestly, as I would if I were in college right now. In college, I have a little more downtime to just work on things. But yeah, and for those of you watching, if you're interested, I am working actually on a documentary style video for the December 10th outbreak, including the Monet, Arkansas, Haiti, Missouri, EF4, and obviously the Mayfield EF4, the Bowling Green EF3, EF4. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. There's that event had so many destructive tornadoes. It's hard to keep track of just how destructive it was. So I'll go ahead and look for you though. Mr. T-Bone Brutus, you can see we have this storm, which is most likely just going to be moving north of where did Tip City disappeared? Oh, there it is. It disappeared off my radar scope. So you do see we do have an area of rotation on the southern end of this storm that is near Gordon and Verona. I'm actually kind of familiar with this area because I chased on June 18th last year. I caught my first tornado near Russia, right up here. Anyways, you can see we do have some rotation that's going through Castine towards Gordon and Verona. This will likely head east. It'll probably be somewhere in the range of Vandalia, all the way up to Troy. If it were to have a warning box, it would probably be issued in this area. So yeah, Tip City where you're at is definitely under the gun. If this continues to strengthen and does end up producing a tornado, it's tracking your direction. So would be important to either turn on the TV or again charge your phone. Make sure you have ways of receiving alerts. So hello from Fayette, Ohio, Michigan border. Hello. You're all the way, you're up here. I've also chased in that area. I saw my second ever tornado up in that same area. So familiar, I am personally familiar with all the areas we are covering. Sorry about that. I'm just answering answering text messages right now because I have, like I said, I have prior commitments I have to go to after this. I wish I could stream longer, man. Everybody in here, it's just this is the coolest thing. Most people I've had in on a stream before, so thank you everybody that's tuning in. Again, if you like the stream, then feel free to like and subscribe, as it's the best way that more people are gonna see this content and hopefully be become more weather aware. Thank you, seriously, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Man, 21 viewers, man. Thank you, everybody. Might have seen you, Gray Vehicle Z. Shoot. I don't drive a gray vehicle, if that's what you are wondering. But I chased on June 18th and June 25th. June 18th I caught a very brief tornado down here near Russia, and on June 25th I caught a tornado near Montpelier. It was on this north-south road right here. Another very brief tornado with my friend, actually, the first time I ever took him storm chasing. But yeah, so I can personally relate to all the locations. Wow. Okay. If you're still watching T-Bone Brutus, we have a tight area of rotation near Ithaca. That is again gonna be headed your way towards Tip City. This will likely be tornado warned any minute now. Very tight rotation on this storm near Gordon, just past east of West Manchester. Wow. Okay, that increased. That thing got strong quick. I would not be surprised if this potentially has a tornado on the ground. So, for me to explain exactly what's happening here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So our radar, right, it's down here in this area, right? So what we have, this is velocity. So what this radar does is it gives us an X-ray into the storm. It lets us see what the wind speeds look like with inside the thunderstorm. So our greens and blues are winds moving towards the radar. Our reds and yellowish colors are winds moving away from the radar. So obviously you have wind going towards the radar here and wind going away from the radar here, and you have an area of cyclonic rotation here. I'd be very surprised if this is not tornado warned here. A very strong rotation near Ithaca, Ohio. We'll see what it looks like on reflectivity, hopefully here soon. Taking a minute to load. Once you use radar scope for a while, it tends to get a little glitchy sometimes. So, and we do have some spikes of specifically this one here near just south of Ithaca. Spikes of correlation coefficient. I'm wondering if I need my wife to get to basement. I I would not be panicking about going to the basement yet. But if I was you, I would let her know, make sure that she has, her phone charged, and she should probably turn on one of your local news stations there, because you can see here's our area of rotation near Ithaca, and that is going to be moving probably either east or just a little northeast in this range. So this area of rotation will likely be somewhere in here. Again, the National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning, and I'm not saying there is a tornado on the ground, but I'm definitely saying that, okay, they are most definitely going to issue a tornado warning. We can see those bright red and yellow colors along with the green right here. There is potentially a tornado on the ground, especially if we start to see more of these dark colors showing up on correlation coefficient. That would tell me it is likely that we have a tornado on the ground here near Ithaca, Ohio. We don't want to get too tunnel visioned. So that is Ohio, right? Yes, it is. Wanted to make sure it's not right on the border of Indiana, but yeah, we don't want to get tunnel vision here. So let's go ahead and look back at some of the other storms that are in Indiana and see. Yeah, so none of the storms in Indiana are actually getting going right now. I think NATOcast is actually accurate in the fact that that Ohio is going to be the one to overperform, and we do have a developing supercell here near Germantown, heading towards Franklin, Carlisle. This will be south of Miamisburg, Ohio, south of Dayton now. You can see again those brighter blue colors. That's wind racing towards the radar, and then you have wind that's moving away. So not an immediate tornado risk, but definitely a developing one with this one. Now this storm near Gordon, this very well could be a tornado on the ground. When you have a very tight, very strong velocity couplet like this, just south of Ithaca, you have the potential of having a tornado on the ground with that. So again, any questions, any comments, any concerns, please let me know in the live chat. I'm going to be heading out here very soon, but I want to make sure that I cover everything that is happening, especially now that things are getting exciting. Of course, now that I am going to have to be leaving here very soon. Thank you, each and every one of you that tuned in. I appreciate you guys. I try to do live streams when I'm able to, and if people are watching like today, then I try to stick around as long as I can, even though I do have another commitment to get to. I'm going to try to keep the stream up as long as possible. So hopefully we get another update here on velocity. Let's go ahead and pull up so we did get another update. It looks like velocity got weaker on the latest scan, so that's really good. Again, the National Weather Service does not have this storm near Gordon, Ohio, tornado warned, but we do have an area of rotation that is now weakened. So hopefully that is indicative that this storm will be weakening, and we won't see any tornadoes at any of these storms. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm here to cover severe weather. I don't make any money off YouTube or anything. I just do it because I have a passion for it, and maybe if it was something I could do like how Ryan Hall does or something, where he live streams severe weather all the time, that would be amazing. I'd be privileged to be able to do something like that. But yeah, I do it for fun as of right now, and I appreciate my most favorite thing is seeing that people are watching, and that people are having an interaction with me. I greatly appreciate that. So thank you to each and every one of you that is actively tuning in right now. I appreciate you. But Southern Indiana done for the night. Something on my radar app. So as of right now, a majority of the storm coverage has focused more in kind of southeastern Indiana and southwestern Ohio. And you can see actually the radar's pretty clean here in most of central Indiana. This is from Indianapolis all the way down to Bloomington. Places southwest of that are pretty clear. I wouldn't say you're in the clear for the whole night, but in the very short term, I would be willing to say that yeah, you guys have almost zero tornado risk down here south of Indianapolis in the short term. So yeah, the greatest tornado risk definitely exists with some of these storms that are moving into Ohio right now, and we can see that with this storm here, which again, I would still think the National Weather Service would tornado warn this. I don't know why they haven't, because there has been rotation showing up on this storm for a while now, but the National Weather Service has yet to warn it. So I'm not the National Weather Service. I'm not going to go above them by any means. I'm not the smartest person in the world. There's plenty of people smarter than me. But one thing I can say is there is an area of rotation on the radar. This is Ithaca and Gordon, Ohio. This is tracking east-northeast towards West Milton. Just north, it looks like, of Tip City. It looks like it will go just north of there. And we do have another cell near West College Corner, Ohio, that is exhibiting a little bit of rotation as well. And another cell here near Germantown, just moving east of Miamisburg towards Centerville. And this storm is exhibiting some weak rotation as well. So all of these storms are rotating, but the key is not a lot of them have that tight rotation that we saw from that storm earlier in Rushville, Indiana. If one of these storms was actively producing a tornado that was lofting debris, it would be strong enough that we would be able to say with almost certainty that there is a tornado active on the ground. So, and I just wanted to take a second to yet again thank everybody for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I've chased in these areas. I've chased down here near Dayton and Cincinnati. I've chased in northern Kentucky. I've chased in Indiana. I've chased up here near Defiance in Ohio. So and I live in Ohio, so this is very well known areas for me, and that's why I'm specifically covering this for you guys. But again, I will say, sadly, I have to get going. It's almost 5:45 now. Thank you everybody who joined the stream. I appreciate everybody who liked and who subscribed during this. This has been my most successful stream I've ever had. So thank you everybody who made this stream just a little extra special today. Please have your phone charged, have notifications turned on your phone, and please turn on your local news station, whatever that may be, to get severe weather updates. If you live specifically from the corridor of probably Terre Haute, places south to Louisville, all the way to Columbus, Ohio. If you live in this vicinity, you should have alerts turned on your phone, and you should most definitely be watching your local news or whatever to stay weather aware. So, but yeah, yet again, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate in Fayette, Ohio. Yeah, you guys are getting some rain up here. Shouldn't be much of any severe risk up there, but yeah, so bring that lightning storm to Cleveland. Rarely get any strong storms. And I love everybody talking in the comments. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who came in here, and trust me, I know in the Cleveland area, I too live in Northeast Ohio. Obviously, I'm not gonna say exactly where for reasons, but you know, we do we get some decent storms around here, but it's only in the midsummer usually, so but yeah, I hope that I can get out there and get some decent chases. I would be out chasing this event today actually if not for some prior commitments. Oh yeah. Wow, okay, we might have a tornado on the ground here near Gordon. Do you read the chat? I'm actively reading it right now. But yeah, we might have a tornado on the ground, and you're welcome. I appreciate that people are coming in and watching. Real quickly before I go, I got just a couple minutes to wrap this up. What we're looking at right here, this is velocity, so it's like we're doing an X-ray scan on the storms. Red is wind going away from the radar, and this green and blue is wind going towards the radar. Obviously, where the two of those coincide and meet is an area where you could have a tornado. And oh yeah, it looks like we do most likely have a tornado. So here is another thing. Yeah, thank you very much. Happy Pride Month to you as well. Just to wrap up my explanation real quick, you see we have this area of rotation, right? Now, if we highlight this area of rotation and we turn on this thing called correlation coefficient, this allows us to see if there are things in the atmosphere that are of an asymmetric shape, right? Like when a tornado lofts debris up, that debris will look weird when it's lofted on the radar. So you can see this area right here, there is asymmetric items in the atmosphere, which is telling us that this area of rotation probably did just have a tornado on the ground. It looks like it may have already lifted. It may have only been on the ground very briefly, but still could have been a tornado nonetheless, right? So, now that it looks like that has potentially lifted, this storm will need to be watched as it moves off to the east, north of Tip City towards Casttown and Christiansburg, West Milton, Ludlow Falls, and Potsdam as well. But thank you everybody for watching. Like I said, I'm gonna have to head out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and making this stream, a little extra special today. Please, again, stay weather aware, stay safe, and yeah, thank you. Peace out.